Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandra Zadak with This is Improv, and we are here for another episode of Tacobout It Tuesday, where we talk about all things the arts and get people's opinion on them. Today, I have a very, very, very special guest with me today. She has been one of our students, and she is my cousin. Everyone, please welcome the beautiful, the talented Lauren Brown.
Hi.
Lauren, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Lauren. I'm 12, almost 13 years old, and I really loved being in improv camp. It was really fun, and I hope I could do it again. During these times of COVID even, it's a very fun program, and I was very glad to have the chance to do it.
Well, thank you. That's a great PSA for improv. What kind of arts are you interested in? What are things that you have done?
Well, I have done dance before, and also I like drawing even though I'm not that good at it, and I like acting. That's all.
Yeah, cool. And you have experienced playing piano and harp, right?
Oh, yes, I have.
So you've attempted the physical portion of art, you've attempted the verbal portion of art, and you've attempted the musical version of art. That's cool. That's a lot. That's really cool. What do you find about theater or about dance that makes you so interested in it? What is it that, makes you so inclined to go for it?
Well, what I really like about it is that you could play games and stuff, but also when performing on stage, you could let everything out. If it's a show about being mad, you could just let all your anger out. And if you're nervous, just know that no one will be judging you because they'll see you as being an actor, not really as a person yourself, doing it in public. If you sang something in public, everyone would be what the heck, that girl's crazy. But on stage, it's okay. So that's why.
Yeah, no, it's true. You think when you see things randomly in the street that some person's just singing on the top of their lungs, just walking down the street in a full suit and tie or something,
I mean, these days people would think it's crazy. Yeah.
What do you think is the feeling you get when you dance?
Well, it's a very fun feeling. I get excited to do it, and it just makes me happy.
What's your favorite style of dance?
I really like jazz.
Why?
Well, it's mostly Italian and jazz. I just really like it because it's more upbeat and stuff, while other ones are low beat. Jazz is just really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. So you've taken our improv camp since the beginning, and you've done some improv. And what do you think about improv? What are your opinions about it?
Well, it's honestly really fun. After doing it for so many years, I finally get the thing. Before, when I first started because I remember before I did camp, I did a few classes, and I was oh, this is kind of different. But then after I did it more, it felt really fun, and now I'm used to it, and it's in my comfort zone now. You get out of your comfort zone to do it, but I feel more comfortable doing it now.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen you grown since the first year we did it, and then afterwards, Lauren actually would do our morning stretches for us. So she would lead because she knew a lot of stretches from dance. So she would help everyone get pumped and energized, and then we would start doing the assignments. But I think you've definitely grown in terms of from when you first started to now. And I actually really want to touch upon the writing because you do write. Yeah. And you're really good at writing. And I want you to talk to me about what your process is.
Well, when I do write, so I'm not really a creative person, to be honest. I'm not that creative. I don't have something right in my mind. So what I do is that I just take a look in the room. So if I want to write something unusual, I just tie two random things together, a bottle of water and a phone. I don't know. And I just imply it in the story. Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. You've come up with really cool versions of stories. I remember you had a part 1 and part 2 one of the years we did camp. And you said, no, part 2 is saved for the next part of the show. So we saved it, and we did a callback to your show at the end. When you're writing and then you see it happening, What's the feeling when you see the thing you wrote be performed?
Well, I felt like really excited to see it because like, of course, when you write something, you have to be proud of it. Like, I just want to be proud of it. I want it to be like exactly what I pictured, like all the inspiration for myself. And then like, I just get so like the build up, I get so excited to finally see it be performed, and it's very fun.
Yeah, it's awesome. And you perform in a lot of your pieces. So how do you find that you're able to balance, the directing portion of it and then being in it as well?
Well, like doing that, like it just makes it easier for me because like my behavior kind of like reflects on the other people. So it's like easier to like talk about it and like stop in the middle.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
You're right, because you're experiencing it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
yeah. So what do you like better in terms of theater? Do you prefer to write, direct, or perform?
I mean, that's kind of hard because like if I perform in something that like I don't really like, because like I don't have a choice, I would still feel happy because I like performing, but I think directing's the most fun.
Why do you find directing to be your preferred favorite?
Because like when you're directing, you get to like put what's in your mind like to the stage, and like you get to have like whatever you want. Like no one can really like boss you around unless you have like you ask specifically for help. So yeah.
What would you say, Lauren? And I know this one's gonna be hard. What would you say is one or two of your favorite games to play in improv?
I really like Zip Zap Zop because it's like more like reflex kind of. So it's just like a really fun game, kind of a motion game. And also the attic one, it's like just very fun because you get to kind of act it out and like you get to like just put random stuff from your head. And it's kind of like charades in a way.
Right, yeah. The attic is like charades, and for those of you that don't know what the attic game is, it's where you walk into an attic and you must form an item with your body, show that, play with it, put it back, and the next person in the room must play with that same item and then play with a new one until you have a certain amount of items in the attic to show what kind of things might be in the attic. That one's a lot of environment work. And do you think that your dancing experience helps with your environment work?
I mean, kind of. I guess it could, because different pieces like that.
Okay. And then when you do environment work, what's the biggest challenge of it?
I think the biggest challenge again is creativity.
I mean, environment work is hard sometimes, and you've also done some journeys. We've done.
Oh yeah, the journeys.
Yeah. We recently did another interview with one of my professors, Bill Adams, and he's the one that taught me about journeys and archetypes and everything like that. Yeah. So that's where I did those archetypes from, and you seem to really enjoy the crony.
Sounds really cool.
So when you did those journeys, what was, because they're different than just environment work, they're different than just miming things out. How did it feel to do the journey, which was acting and miming and feeling? And
well, I really liked it because it was like more improvised, because you didn't know what was like coming. If you didn't know the story, you didn't know what was coming. So like it was really fun to just act it out and use whatever things you came up with.
Yeah. When you're thinking about improv, when you first started it, you didn't actually perform it. What was the first thought when you heard that you were taking improv camp?
Well, I was excited because it was like nothing. I mean, it was new. I didn't know what it was because like I took drama camp like the year before, so I kind of thought it would be like that. So I was like, oh, cool. But it actually was more fun than I expected.
What did you find was the most fun part about it for you?
Probably the games and meeting a few new people.
Yeah, that is fun that you made some new friends along the way.
Yeah.
How did it feel? Because in the camp, we do have the kids write their own show. So they write an hour-long piece based off of multiple sketches that they put together. So how did it feel to actually be a part of putting together an entire production?
Well, it was really fun because like all the shows that I watch, like I'm like, whoa, what goes through these people's heads? So I could get inspiration from them for like my own sequence of the show.
Inspiration from where? How do you get inspiration for it?
Like from different shows, I'm like, wow, that's so creative. So like maybe like also with like the looking around the room thing, like with the water bottle and the whatever. I like also take in inspiration from like other different shows, like, oh, this could be different from that, or
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, of course. You get inspiration from other things that you've seen around your life, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Do you believe, this is a big question for a young one, do you believe that theater is educational?
I think it could be in ways, because like when you're writing, of course, that's like the biggest educational part. Like, of course, in school, they're like, okay, do this writing thing. And like sometimes if they don't want you to write whatever you want, which is most of the time in school, they like you get kind of bored, but you're also learning at the same time. Like in drama, you could like write whatever you want, and that's learning because like it makes you think writing is funner than it is. So maybe when you go back to school, you'll be able to learn easier.
I think that you, in your writing and in your acting skills, you have advanced tremendously from what I've seen. You're really good with creative writing. So I understand, based off what you told me, now I feel like I understand a lot of your scripts much better, because it's true, you would pull things that you overheard someone talking about at lunch. Maybe you heard them say a phrase and you thought it was funny, and you would be very sure to add it into your script, or there was a song that you like, so you took a lyric from the song and you put it in there, you know? So I think it's really interesting to see how you create, because you know you are growing up in the world that we live in now. So there's a lot happening. It's kind of an sensory overload. So when you also had played piano and harp, so
of course, yeah.
How did it feel to learn about music as well?
Well, like when you first start music, you're like really curious. Like you probably look up stuff like how to do this, how to do that. And also like you want to like be the best you can, and you want to learn the most advanced thing. But of course you have to start with the basics. So it was really fun to learn the basics, because eventually, as like the more you practice the basics, the better you'll get at the more advanced stuff. Yeah,
you're gonna, of course, you want to jump headfirst into the and dive in, but yeah, it's a learning experience, and I think it's, you know, from teaching you and then also teaching the other kids, I think it's been fun to see you guys grow, because you guys really have grown, and I've seen you grow, especially because you're family, so I see it more, and you notice the little things a little bit more when people are family. So I want to ask you, what do you think, in your opinion, is something that someone should know about the arts? Maybe something, if someone who's interested in it, what you might tell someone who might be interested in the arts.
Well, this applies to any subject of it, but just like, you can't always be your best. Like, of course you try to be your best, but you can't always, like if you're like doing voice acting, like you can't, I mean like just acting, you can't always, like if you forget a line, it's always okay. Like everyone makes mistakes. Or like if you're doing music, if you miss a note, that's a mistake, everything's fine. And also like if you fail in something, just know that every like big playwright has failed, or anybody who's written a play has failed. Like don't get all hard on yourself. You're like, oh, I hate this. I'm so terrible at everything. Just like keep writing, and eventually you'll get to the best.
Yeah, exactly right. Lauren, I want to ask you a really fun question. If I didn't know you, and I was walking across the street, and I saw you across the street, and I was like, oh my gosh, who's that chick? What is something that I can't tell just by looking at you?
I don't have any fun facts.
What's your favorite thing in the world to eat, and why?
My favorite thing to eat is maybe lobster or fancy foods sometimes because like it reminds me of going on vacation. I don't know why, it just reminds me of going on vacation. Because like when you go on vacation, you go to like those special restaurants because you can't go like back home. And then like 2 days later be like, oh, we forgot to go to that restaurant, and then go back. And yeah, just fancy food reminds me of vacation. Relaxed time. Yeah.
Sitting in the breeze. I know. And soon, you know, things will get better and we'll be able to do stuff in person soon. Yeah. But I want to thank you so much for being on Talk About It. This was really exciting for me.
It was very fun to do.
Yeah, this is awesome. Lauren is one of my favorite students because obviously she is my cousin, so I really appreciate her being on here. A big thank you for everyone who joined us on today's episode. I hope that you had an amazing time, and I want you to remember to check the description down below to look for any websites or things that could be educational for you and the world at this time. Please make sure to also look at the links down below because we have our website and our emails. So if you have any questions about improvisation or would like to sign up for a class, you can go to www.thisisimprov.com. Sign up today for improv, writing, improv for life, or corporate team building. Again, a huge thank you to Lauren for coming on here. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Have a happy Taco Tuesday. Eat some tacos. Goodbye.